Jason Carl. Jason Carl. Jason Carl.
Let's tell a vampire story.
Hi, family. We here at McStabber Studios take the emotional well-being of our viewers very seriously. And due to the personal horror nature of Vampire the Masquerade, some of the content of our streams could cause some strong emotional responses. If you feel like that has happened to you during any of our streams, take a moment, take a break, mute the stream, or just skip an episode. Or if you decide that you want to sit through it and watch it, we are available in chat to talk you through it if you need that. Ultimately, we want you to take care of yourself. Do what you feel like you need. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey, and we hope you enjoy this episode of DC by Night, Vengeance Waits.
Good evening, Licks. It's your friend Twitch again. Welcome to my little Streams of Darkness news update. This week it's brought to you by our sponsor, Aluka Blood Product Services. Aluka BPS, tapping that potential of blood. Down in Vancouver, it turns out that Malkavian Primogen I talked about last week might be a Toreador. It sounds like the Clan of the Moon is operating with their usual bit of flair. If you want to see more on that one, you should pop over to Vancouver by Night. Down in New Orleans, rumor has it that the street performers are getting all unified. Who would have thought of that? An even bigger rumor, supposedly a Tremere who had been run out of New York for a blood hunt is down there as well. A Zenanti Tribune, no less. It sounds like they've got all kinds of problems down in New Orleans. If you need more details on that, check out Sanguine_Nights on my channels. Now, down again in Atlanta, it seems while the Primogen were out of town, the prince decided to appoint an entirely new Primogen council. Such a shrewd move. And now he's called for a masquerade ball. With all that turmoil, I wonder how much anxiety is going to set in with the kindred as we wait to see what happens when the ball occurs. If you need info on that, you should check out ATL by Night. And finally, in DC, there seems to be a small problem with some black spiral dancers and a gangrel called Malik. Ooh, what is the coterie going to do now? It's never a good sign when black spiral dancers are involved. I myself tend to avoid them because they stink up the place. It's time for me to run again. Can't do this broadcast long, don't want certain individuals to hear it. But please pay attention to this special message from our sponsors, everyone.
Free-range, ethically sourced, cruelty-free, certified humane, organic blood products. Delivered by our conscientious and discreet private fleet.
Secret.
We make sure our stock is local, sustainable, and diverse enough to suit even the most discriminating tastes. Aluka Blood Product Services. Tapping the potential of blood.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios DC by Night. Tonight is a vignette for the main chronicle. The purpose of these vignettes is to keep a shorter time frame and to allow some side stories that otherwise would have to be glossed over at the table due to them only using one or two or a small amount of people. That way I'm not forcing the rest of the players to spend half an episode doing absolutely nothing. Each of these will be shorter. Sometimes it'll be one, sometimes it'll be two. It all depends on what we have available and what, where the story is, of course. You do not have to watch these in order to understand and follow the chronicle itself. But everything in it will be summarized in the main chronicle, on the main streams. The purpose of this is, if you want to see it, it's great, because like any summary, there'll always be little bits and pieces that aren't mentioned in it, and the only way to get that will be, of course, to watch the vignettes. So join us, and I hope you like this first vignette. Lily has called a meeting of the Roses to discuss the events at the Black Magic. The scene starts with, of course, Natalie, played by
Michelle, Spectre Alafet.
and Lily.
Relin, the Primogen of DC, Lily Sanger.
They, Lily has not come in yet, but you have Natalie, you have Chaz. Raphael is not there yet. He is with Lily. You have Angelique waiting in the conference room at the Succubus Club, the one place that Lily feels safe in. Now, of course, Natalie has met Angelique, knows Angelique, not well, but knows her. You do not know Chaz. Now, Chaz, of course, you've heard his description. You know who Chaz is. He's largely been ignoring Angelique and you, sitting at the conference table. And that's where we'll begin this scene. I assume Lily and Raphael come in?
Before I come in, I ask Thomas and Jeff to stand by the door.
Okay.
And I also...
Yes, ma'am. We'll wait right outside the door for you.
I also ask them to make sure that all the lights are turned up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All. Yes,
the
ma'am.
lights.
We can do that.
Thank you. And I walk in with Raphael, and I lean towards Raphael and say, find yourself a comfortable seat.
As she walks in, Natalie's knuckles go white on the ballet mistress's cane she's brought for this
Yeah,
evening.
because Raphael is burnt just under half of his body. I mean, he's pretty crispy still. Angelique, you can get the softest gasp out of her lips.
Mm-hmm.
Cone, or Chaz, gonna keep doing it. Chaz seems impassive, doesn't seem to care.
Thank you, everyone, for attending my request so swiftly. I truly appreciate it.
Chaz looks... Aren't we missing someone? Rachel?
Rachel is unable to attend this evening, and I'll be happy to discuss that with you after we discuss the urgent matters.
Okay.
Thank you. First, I would like to introduce you to the newest child in Clan Toreador, Raphael, child of Wayland.
Angelique
Yeah.
kind of... I thought we weren't allowed to sire children.
We'll get to that.
Natalie just waves.
And you've met Raphael. You recognized him barely. Because you went to one of his Wayland's performances and met him after the show. Actually, before the show as well, because you were escorted to him.
Personal introductions.
Yep.
On the night of the riots, unfortunately, Raphael, who was a ghoul of Wayland's at the time, became mortally wounded. Wayland embraced him. In a fit of passion, I suppose.
Angelique, we don't learn. Do we?
Certain lines tend to be more prone to it.
So, and Coon goes,
Chaz.
or Chaz, yeah, I'm going to do it the whole night. It's been bad.
I don't have a fucking Tremere in my clan meeting.
Oh, you should. That'd be awesome. Chaz goes, okay, but who cares who's sire?
It's fine.
What happened? I know the black magic burned.
Yes, that is
Where's
the
Wayland?
urgent matter. Presumed dead.
Presumed?
Presumed.
And Angelique, her head shoots up at that one. Presumed? I thought you told me on the phone.
I said I didn't know, and I was looking into it.
Is that why my brother's avoiding me?
Mm-hmm. I have them helping me look into it. Because when I went to investigate the scene, and I will tell you, I was the first one there to investigate the scene, which is absurd. The prince had no response to this happening to his herald's haven. There was no remains, and I presume Waylon was young enough to leave something behind.
Natalie definitely picks up that we keep staring at Angelique when we ask these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Angelique just, with a barely perceptible, just nods a little.
Mm-hmm. So, I say presumed dead.
And Cones, go ahead, Natalie.
Oh, I was correct then. That was our current prince's herald.
Yes.
And you were first on
I
the
was
scene?
first on the scene. I was the one who called the sheriff and the seneschal.
Ah, and our prince's response has been...
To laugh about it.
Chaz, his clan never liked ours. He's just another holding a Toreador down like Vitel did, Marissa did before him. Just a long line of Philistines.
While I do agree with your assessment, I will tell you that holding us down is not allowed on my watch.
Good luck.
Natalie seems to be piecing things together. Is the prince's non-attendance part of what you wish to discuss?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Is the prince's non-attendance the reason we think there has been a problem at the Black Magic?
Yes.
Ah.
I am actively investigating, and I am very close to getting the proof I need.
Angelique speaks up with that. If that diseased rat had anything to do with it, I'll kill him. And Chaz goes, whoa, and watch it. Calm down, Angelique. And she just looks up, spineless coward. You always were weak. And when she says that, you hear just the softest possible spitting noise come out of Cone's mouth. Or Chaz. Thank you. I'm going to, oh my God, it's one of them nights.
You need to write it down.
I need to have it printed on the inside of my screen. Big letters. Chaz. And then I'd look at it and read Cone.
Okay,
get back
in character.
Oh
my God. Okay. Angelique. We cannot discuss regicide.
Why not?
We need to have proof, and I need to call in more allies.
I don't think we're discussing regicide. We're simply pointing out that regicide exists.
And Chaz goes, no. You don't play semantics with someone like him. You know what he did in Providence, right?
I'm aware. And I also know that he has recently told certain members of the court that he will burn out all his enemies.
Great.
However,
you're sitting in a club that's flammable.
I also have a small army.
Is it then wise to be discussing something other than regicide?
Yes, we have other urgent matters, but do understand that I am actively investigating, and once I have certain proofs, I will expect us to come together as a clan with allies to ensure that the tower handles
And Angelique's eyes
A
narrow
horrible
bit.
prince.
And what is your plan for this? You obviously have a plan.
Oh, I always do.
Cone speaks up again. Oh, yeah, or Chaz speaks up again. I'm just going to rename him Cone from now on.
No, you're not.
Chaz speaks up again and goes, "Oh, yes, enlighten us."
I have the sheriff, who is not the hippie anymore.
Was not the Sheriff Quatermain?
No, that is Art Morgan, because Quatermain quit. Because he couldn't work for the prince anymore.
And our herald is dead.
And
Right.
Angelique goes, "So the rumors are true."
Oh, yes. He's riding around on a Harley in a suit with a Prussian spiked helmet.
Is this uncommon for...
Art used to ride around in a tie-dye van, looking like he was a reject from the Grateful Dead.
And who is Art?
Old
And
gang.
Raphael goes, "Yeah, wow,
She's never met
Art
him.
Morgan, and we're gonna do doobies and go see the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, he's not like that.
Psychedelic,
He's not like that anymore.
She didn't meet that.
No, she didn't meet that. So basically, he's a very, very old gangrel, brother of Xavier, the former gangrel Justicar.
Yes.
And Angelique goes, "Spiked Prussian helmet and Harley."
Cruiser style with 2 seats.
That sounds like a walking bomb.
Sounds like he's on Bjorn's bike.
Probably
But
is.
I thought Bjorn was beckoned. He would have taken.
Not necessarily. He might have left it with him for
Bjorn
safekeeping.
and I didn't get along, Angelique. This is Angelique speaking. But Piter really enjoyed talking with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Chaz speaks up. So, do you really think you have a chance to unseat him?
Yes, I do.
What kind of evidence is there? He burned.
I have working through some negotiations to secure an eyewitness account.
And Angelique just...
And possibly, I might be able to locate Wayland or whatever's left of him.
And Raphael speaks up. I've got your back no matter what.
Thank you.
I'm fine. I want to see him avenged.
Thank you.
And Angelique says that, if you can show me he did it, I'll kill him.
Angelique, as much as I adore your passion, darling, I don't think you could. He is a mean old bastard. And you would be throwing yourself away.
Besides, it is not wise to waste Mortoriador blood on a Nos who doesn't see the value.
And Chaz speaks up from his seat. But you've put us in danger doing this. You have no plan fully yet. When he sees us all gathering together...
There are other matters to discuss that we can...
Does he have a reason to suspect you're trying to get him yet?
No, none. None whatsoever.
I suppose I should be grateful he didn't decide he wanted to watch me.
Yeah.
You just put him on the throne.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people supported him because he swore he had changed his ways. That he was the kinder, gentler Stanford.
Does any kindred truly change their ways?
Never.
And Angelique speaks up at that. Like any of them rats are kind or gentle.
I didn't care. I got what I wanted out of it.
Jas, if we do not do something, he will pluck us up one by one. Is that your preferred method? Or should we just wait around for him to kill us?
I don't know what to do, okay?
We sit on it for now. Let me find my proof. I just wanted to make you all aware of the situation.
I would like to bring up another thing simply because it is convenient at the time, but Maniacal Jack is back, and Angelique, as much as I hate to bring this up, you and I are uniquely in danger at this point.
Indeed.
My brother mentioned.
Yep, he graffitied the back of my club with blood sorcery. It was a botched ward against kindred.
Grigori was very upset at that.
Mm-hmm.
I am very sorry I damaged that. It was not intentional.
No, it was already botched before you dealt with it, dear.
Grigori and I have been taking steps to make sure that I'm safe and those I'm attached to
Good.
are not targeted.
What I would like to do is I think we need to put on a performance, one that he just can't resist. Lay a trap for him.
It would have to, I think, be either me or Angelique, and out of the two of us, as much as I hate to say this, I would weirdly prefer myself.
Do you think you can protect yourself from him? That's what
No.
Angelique says.
No, but I do think that between us, we might be able to pull enough resources to protect something.
And I will have my resources and contacts involved.
That thing, that creature, whatever you want to call him,
We
is a
have...
vile, twisted, dangerous kindred. He led the attack on the Octagon House during the war and managed to break through.
At that time, Art was a pacifist.
But
also-
he killed Dorfman,
I have no idea who that is.
the old Pontifex.
Okay. Maybe he'll kill
the old Pontifex.
Maybe he'll kill the new one.
We won't get that lucky. He's dangerous.
I understand your concern, Angelique, but this is again like our prince problem. If we just leave him to roam the streets, he will pick us off. One, either you or me or both of us.
What, I mean, he's been gone for like 10 years. What brought him back?
He's Vitel's eyes and ears in the city. You know those, arsons that have been popping up in domains but not actually threatening havens? And I look at Chaz.
Yeah, one happened by my...
Same. Jack did those. There was blood sorcery attached to him.
Well, there could have been anyone, but...
No, it was Jack. You know it was Jack.
Since we do control part of the art scene in DC, we might be able to throttle the availability of any other dancing in the city and reduce it to simply the activity we provide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying we should throttle all art, just his preferred type.
And Raphael speaks up and goes, minor point, just to bring up. When he says this, Chaz speaks up. You're a child. You don't speak at these meetings.
He is not your ward. He is mine.
Chad slightly nods at you, quiets his mouth down.
Go ahead, Raphael.
If he is Vitel's man, now I've met Vitel.
Mm-hmm.
If he's Vitel's man, is Vitel going to be upset if something happens to him?
I mean,
when I met Vitel, he seemed odd but pleasant, but the way everyone speaks of him...
Oh, he's a monster.
Is that, yes, they speak of him like he's the Antichrist.
He is the devil incarnate.
So is he going to be upset?
I would
Honestly, I think Vitel would see it as if Jack fell, it was because he wasn't strong enough to survive.
It is also whether it is profitable to be upset that anyone is dead. Sometimes it simply is not.
Then Angelique speaks up and goes, if he's anything like Vicky, he won't tolerate the failure to survive.
Right.
Never understood.
He would
that.
respect those that actually could defeat his man.
Well,
in a way.
I don't think Vicky's respected anyone who.
Well, Vicky is also.
But she also doesn't respect those who lose.
Yeah, especially those who lose.
Yeah, she's an odd one.
So, needless to say, that's Vitel's eyes and ears in the city, or at least part of them. I'm sure he has others. But we need to eliminate him.
Profitable also to make a large amount of noise about that after we leave this evening.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That was the reason I called you here. Because Jack had graffitied my wall, and I have him on camera.
And you do have 2 dancers in your court.
Mm-hmm.
Chaz, it is at least a plausible explanation to cover the other discussion, unless you had some intention of revealing it.
I just... can you win? I understand the point that Natalie brings up, okay, that if he's out to get us, he'll pick us off one by one. But do we know for sure he's out to get us?
Chaz, if we don't try, how can we ever win?
We win by surviving. And Angelique makes a comment when he says that. That's why you were a horrible primogen.
Good to see we haven't lost any of it.
Yes, well, you know, surviving is one part of winning. Daring to succeed is the other. Yes, I think I can do it. Yes, I think I can do it with the support of the Clan of the Rose. Yes, I think I can do it with the assistance of all my associates and contacts, which are significant.
And also, we're Toreador. Please don't pretend you don't have any of your own.
Exactly.
I've not said I don't.
There is a reason why every other clan in the tower fears the thought of us ever coming together. There is little we can't accomplish when we pull together.
But what you're talking.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the coronation. I saw Anton himself stand there.
Mm-hmm.
And announced that this is what the tower wanted. This is their decree.
He promised the tower that he was a changed kindred. And when they get proof that he isn't...
One Toreador burned?
It's more than that. It's more than that.
I mean, what you're suggesting?
It's risky. Sometimes you have to be brave. Take a risk.
And Raphael speaks up at that. He never was brave. And you can see Chaz just clench his fists up like he's on the edge.
And I look at his fists and I look at him and say, that's what I want to see, your fire. That's why I push you. I know you have it in you.
So where's Rachel? Why isn't she here?
You are, of course, aware of her proclivities. I'm sure they're not new to you. You spent a number of years with her.
Angelique, you can just barely hear her mother. So can you. Natalie, you hear her too. Everyone knew. And he's like, Chaz just... Okay.
She came to stay with me when I picked her up from a police station.
Well, yes, the prince gave you to her as your child.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was my child.
Mm-hmm. She asked for my help to detox. Has she ever done that with you before?
No.
Okay. She was addicted to drop, the same thing that the Kine were the night of the riots.
I suspected, but why isn't she here?
She broke the bond I had on her, came after me, and I destroyed her. Because she had to go get her fix after I had weaned her off.
And when you say that, Chaz leaps up and starts to jump towards you.
I just stand there.
But he stops after a single step and goes completely rigid. In his eyes, you watch, both of you can see it, as his eyes slowly shift from his natural color of a blue to a golden glow. You can still see the hint of blue under it, but the eyes are glowing golden. Daughter of Helena, why do you taunt him so?
To whom do I speak, so that I may show proper respect?
I will not say my name above her. I will not wake her now. Not yet.
I taunt the one you reside in.
I do not
Or
reside.
drive.
I use him.
The one you drive around in.
He is a useful tool.
I taunt him because he's insufferably rude, and has been since I met him.
I was called the same in my life so long ago. But you taunt him, and you shot him.
I did.
I do not wish my tools to be broken. He is mine, daughter of Helena.
Are you the one making him weak?
I make him strong.
He is barely a rose.
But he is strong. I have just fueled his passions, stoked the flames.
Is she the one you missed in Marseille?
That was you.
Indeed.
She was. I'll have her this time. And your rose. What good is he if he doesn't have thorns?
All of us have thorns. Remember, I shot him.
You think you have thorns. This one has thorns now that he is mine. Daughter of Helena, your mistress is not here. She cannot protect you here. Do not break my tools.
I have no desire to break him. I just want him to be a little useful to me as well.
Tell your mistress, the one she seeks is not here.
Thank you.
And also warn her, if she comes here, I will destroy her.
I wish I had a name to pass the message about.
Not above her.
Mm-hmm.
Much like I won't say her name. Neither will you if you're smart.
I don't.
And Chaz, if you can call it Chaz, stiffly walks to the door, eyes still glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And he opens it
And walks out.
and just walks out. And the guards are like, ma'am.
Just let him go.
Is he
Just let him go.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Want us to close the door?
Just close the door. Just let him go.
And when the door closes, Angelique goes, what? And Rafa just blurts out, what the hell was that? What did I just see?
Daughter of Helena, I haven't been showing you quite as much respect as possibly you are due.
Cat's out of the bag.
And Angelique goes, I knew it. Something. You have a succubus club.
Exactly.
And it wasn't destroyed.
Yes.
Like seems to happen to those who others who have tried to set up one.
Tried to profit on the name.
The only other one I have heard of that also has managed to keep a club open is Victoria.
Yes. We are distantly related.
And Angelique does a bow.
Thank you.
I believe in family, and I acknowledge your lineage.
Thank you.
We're not Ventru, so I'm not going to go that far. And Raphael goes, I'm lost. Helena,
Otherwise known as as Helen of Troy.
Okay, that's a myth. That's Greek myth. You're not going there. And Angelique just shakes her head.
He's so young.
I'm actually quite skilled at Camarilla politics if you need an extra tutor for him.
I would be glad to take you up on that offer. Let's let him heal first, though.
Oh yes, absolutely. You are a little bit of an unsightly, and as you get older, you'll realize that you really just don't like that.
And Angelique goes, okay, so what was that?
I will tell you. There are certain kindred that are sleeping under the city. That while they are sleeping can still use certain talents.
That's just rumor. I've heard. This is Angelique speaking. It's just rumor, right?
No, it's true.
I mean, obviously, I just saw something I haven't seen before.
I've met Helena.
No. If Helena was wandering, we'd know.
She's not here. She's in somewhere else. But she's somewhere else.
Raphael, you just saw a kindred much older than you.
Yes.
Well,
Possessed by something that
even older than him.
Eyes glow gold.
Mm-hmm.
When in your life have you seen anything that made anyone's eyes glow gold? Because I quite literally have never seen it, but I do know what it means.
Mm-hmm. So basically,
they're asleep, but they can
still still influence things
and just do what we want,
and
do what they want.
Vitel's sire is sleeping nearby.
Oh, can we not ever open that kind of bag of crazy?
We're not.
And Angelique goes, she doesn't exist.
Oh yes, she does.
I know of who you speak only because after he died and came back, he mentioned her name once.
She exists.
No. Camarilla says they don't exist.
The Camarilla is full of shit. They exist.
And again, Raphael goes, who exists?
They are called, a title in certain circles is Methuselah. Basically, they are...
That's from the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm. They are kindred so old that they are basically like gods.
And Angelique speaks up. No, they refer to her as the North American antediluvian. And that's what the Camarilla says didn't
exist.
Okay, but Angelique, as much as I hate to do this, we all have our tiny secrets. They get worse every year. Imagine if we could add thousands of years to secrets. What the Camarilla doesn't tell us could probably fill libraries.
Apparently what they don't tell us could get us killed if one of those is sleeping under us.
Mm-hmm. Look, what we all know in this room could get us killed. Like,
the prince himself has acknowledged Methuselahs exist. So we have 3 of them in our city.
3? Well, you've mentioned 2.
Mm-hmm. There's one that's awake, but she keeps to herself.
You know, I really don't want to believe in Gehenna, but sometimes...
I don't want to know. And Raphael goes, that makes 2 of us.
You don't want to know, but trust me. If you ever do happen to be in their presence, just be polite. You'll likely survive it.
And Angelique looks at you and goes, what you're proposing is to remove the prince.
Mm-hmm. Preferably from his own life. By fire, it would be poetic.
You can have...
Do we get to say one less rat in the sewer?
I think the term I've heard They all float down?
They all float down here, yes.
I've heard that term before.
Yes.
You will have my support.
Good.
And the support of my brothers. On one condition. Velois dies too. That bastard killed Piter. In the street like a dog.
You do understand that I cannot personally kill him myself. But I would not stop that happening.
I want your assistance to get him dead. I know you can't kill him. You're not capable. But Grigori says he can. We just need help.
I'm amenable to that.
Roll wits awareness. You can roll too, Natalie.
Got 5.
4.
4. You both pick up on the fact that it's obvious the way she said that she's already been working or planning
Good.
that exact situation. The way she said Grigori, can do it and needs help. It's obvious she's continuing her plans to get him murdered that
Good.
she'd brought up once before.
And I look and say, I can be amenable to that, and I'm happy you decided to not impulsively do this.
Plans are always better than not planning. Although I will admit, opportunity also counts.
Yes, but revenge is an art.
If I could burn every one of those bastards in the pyramid, I would.
I do
They
have a friend.
murdered Piter because he wouldn't follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't believe in what they believed in anymore.
I'm aware.
I have a friend who likes to refer to the Tremere as greasy spots, but then again, he has a particular grudge.
I have a grudge too. And for what they took from me, I want to take it all from them. I'd even kill that bitch Esmeralda if I could to punish that man. But even Ivan has told me that Dorian is not the one I want to face.
Don't do that.
And Angelique goes, do you know about Esmeralda?
Yes.
No, do you know
Yes.
about Esmeralda? Do you know why she was embraced?
Yes.
No, you don't.
No, I heard the conversation.
You didn't hear the full conversation. It was just, you never heard. I know which conversation you're referring to. You did not hear why she was embraced.
No, okay,
right.
then no.
Right.
I definitely don't know.
That bastard, Sabbat Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're from up north, you know about his reputation.
Yes.
Very good Sabbat Hunter. He made enemies, pissed off one too many Sabbat members. And they found his mortal daughter. And the Lasombra embraced her. So that the man who hates Sabbat would be forced to kill his own daughter because of his hate and his rage.
He is a fanatic.
And Grigori tells me she ran to Dorian for that. The one place not even Velois could touch her.
I fucking hate that clan.
But I would destroy her if I could to get to that man. If I have to kill Cone as well, I hold no ill will to Cone. But I'll do it.
Let us start with the one murder.
And you never told her that Cone actually was the one who cut his throat. You did?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then, yeah, no, she holds ill will to Cone. I thought you hadn't told her that.
No, I had told her.
Oh, that Cone cut the throat? Nope, okay.
He was ordered by the Pontifex.
Yeah. I'll kill Cone, too. I don't hold ill will to Aaron Briggs. I swear the man looks like a professor or looks like...
He looks like a grandfather.
I think he looks like the Nutty Professor in the way he carries himself.
Yeah, he seems not a horrible sort, but...
I will root the rest of them out. I'm glad the Second Inquisition burned that chantry. And if I could have done it, I'd have done it myself.
Good to see we're all bloodthirsty tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had taken from you what was taken from me, you'd want him dead too.
I have, and I still want the bastard that did it dead.
Don't mistake me. I've had my own fair share of things. It's simply that I wish this to work. I don't wish you to not get your revenge.
You have my help.
And you will have mine when the time comes.
That's all we ask. Do not count, no matter what evidence you find, on Victoria's support.
No. No. She seems loyal to herself.
She is, and she would see it as a chance to test herself.
Mm-hmm.
To go up against Art.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she'd go up against Velois.
Oh, I think she'd love going up against him.
She has her eyes set on Art.
Of course she does, because her ego doesn't let her take less of a challenge.
I met her father once. When
Lily's
Vitel
eyes go
first
big.
returned. When he first came back, I met her father once. If she's anything like him, and she appears to be, Victoria, daughter of Tally Fitzhenry.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware.
I do not know if even Art could survive it. Her father is notorious.
I don't know.
And that was news for you, Natalie. You didn't realize Victoria is the daughter of the Tally, because pretty much all the kindred know who Tally is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's only one Tally.
I fucking hate that clan.
They're useful,
Eh.
but they're hard to control.
Yeah, their egos are too much.
Grigori tells me so are ours.
That might be true at times, you know.
What is art without the ego?
But seriously, I'm glad to have your support. Truly.
And Raphael speaks up. Are we really discussing what it appears we're discussing?
Yes.
Yes, because you are personally probably the first person who's going to die if we don't.
You know how I feel.
I know.
They killed Waylon. He died to save me. I'll die to avenge him. But I would prefer to actually get to avenge him before I died.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can pour out that mortal we talked about. And Angelique kind of looks between the two of you. Pour what?
It's a thing that he mentioned to help him grieve.
Okay, I'm aware. This is Angelique speaking. I'm aware of.
Pour one out for your homies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
with a
aware of
mortal. With a kind.
And Raphael gets his grin.
I try
on
to
his face.
stay modern, Angelique. I try.
And Raphael has a grin on his face about. Natalie, you get the feeling that they're talking about literally pouring a mortal out.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind. They're fragile. It works.
I mean, I'm not super mad about the mortal, but, you know, bit tacky, but okay.
Raphael's new.
Yeah, he's new.
He's very new.
He's new.
He hasn't got his refinement yet. That's
No.
why he's not getting presented yet.
That's why he's not getting presented yet. But yeah.
And Angelique just nods.
Okay.
Okay, daughter of Helena.
I was trying to keep the lid on that.
It seems the things that we know not of have other plans.
For what you've done for my brother, I won't spread that around.
Thank you.
Plus, I wouldn't want to tip any hands.
Yeah.
But if she comes to town, tell me, because I'm leaving.
Oh, if she comes to town, I'm leaving. You think if she comes to town, she's not going to take all of this from me?
And Raphael I will never understand how this works.
Again, I promise I will tutor you. I had 40 years of a very, very snobby French toreador shoving it down my throat.
And Angelique just kind of snorts when you say French. Angelique bows, and she actually nods to you, Natalie. Doesn't bow, but nods. And exits the room, leaving Natalie and Lily and Raphael alone in the room together.
And now that we are alone, I was afraid to bring this up with Angelique, though I do think she wants her vengeance. If you didn't find the remains of Wayland, and I assume you looked since you claimed you had, there is a possibility he is not dead.
Yes.
And if he is not dead, he is something that could be used to blackmail both yourself and
her.
Angelique.
I'm aware of that.
And Raphael goes, a bargaining chip.
Yep.
Yes. And one for yourself, I assume, since he is your sire.
But at the same time, he's not presented, so maybe not.
True, it would be easier to destroy someone as small as him. No offense.
How well known is it that I'm his child?
Not very. But not to say it's not known by certain individuals.
And it is now known by everyone in this room, including Chas, who would. I am glad I still. I still have
first. Okay, Raphael. First lesson: trust no one.
There's some sort of modern expression. I think it's trust no bitch.
And yet, you say that, and yet you're saying, let's overthrow and we can win. Trust me. There's some hypocrisy in this discussion.
There's always hypocrisy,
Please
darling.
understand, this is a discussion where there are knives at everyone's throat. And as long as you know where the knife is, you're fine.
Yeah.
I understand knives. Always have.
Good.
And he does a flourish, and there's a blade in each hand.
Nice. Nice.
I was the one who taught Raphael, or Wayland,
Wayland,
how to pick pockets.
Good.
I was the one that taught him the quick hands.
Good.
He surpassed me, but I know how to work.
Good.
And he kind of does his hands like this, and then there's no knives in them.
Mm-hmm.
It also, being a vampire and a toreador vampire, that will get even faster.
Yes. But I will tell you, trust no one, but understand motivations. Chaz is a survivor. Even though he's weak-willed, I will say, he's a survivor. He will do whatever it takes to survive.
I know those types.
Mm-hmm.
We were those types.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to give up his domain, his conservatory. He begrudgingly gave up his status as the former primogen. I had to pull that out of him like pulling teeth. He's a survivor. So what I trust about him is that he's going to do what is necessary to ensure his survival.
But can we win?
Yes.
You've got my support anyway. You know this.
Yes, we can. I have to believe we can.
And this talk of killing, I don't understand Pontifex. I know Tremere, Pontifex, Regent. I've heard those before. I don't understand
those are titles. Pontifex is basically the head Tremere over a region. Not just a city, but a region.
Do you really think we can take him?
Oh, I'm not going to take him.
I'm more worried about your promise to Angelique about Valois. We would have had enough trouble taking the regicide problem, but Valois, I know what he did in Montreal. I lived in Montreal.
His reputation precedes him. His fanaticism is obvious.
It's true.
And all I have to do is set up an opportunity.
It will be
That's
very
all I have to do.
I don't know this Grigori she mentioned.
It's her brother.
But can he really take on the way you're talking about this man? I
have no idea. And honestly, I would be very entertained to see who walks away from that.
It will be very destabilizing, though. And Vital is still in Baltimore. By the time we could pull any of this off, Vital will have consolidated his power.
Oh, of course he will. Of course he will. And you think the city isn't destabilized right now?
I think that the Nosferatu who sits on that very tacky throne down there is a large thing to bite currently.
I understand. And ultimately, that is my top priority.
I mean, who would sit on it instead of him?
Hopefully no one in that seat, but hopefully in another throne, I would love to see Karina do it.
We would be lucky to choose to have anyone from here. There's likely to send an Archon again. And
yes, they will send an Archon.
Okay, I don't understand this Archon thing. It's new to me. I've heard it mentioned. I've heard Justicar mentioned. I only remember I've heard Archon too. Waylon mentioned one right when Vitel disappeared. He talked about
Anton.
What was the name? No, there was a name. It was Theo.
Oh, Theo Bell.
Theo Bell. Yes, Theo Bell. That's it. That's the name he mentioned.
Yeah, Bruja Justicar. No,
so why don't we get this guy to come take Stanford?
We don't. He no longer belongs in the Camarilla. He actually killed the head of the Camarilla.
Wait.
So and then proceeded to disassociate with the Camarilla.
This guy just goes
Anarch.
around and just murders people in charge, I guess.
That seems to be his MO. And now he's an Anarch.
Understand, vampires are fractionated at the best with our current
I'm picking that up.
setup. There's the Sabbat, the Camarilla, and the Anarchs. And the Sabbat think the vampire community, or the kindred community, don't say vampire, I'm doing this for you at the moment, but they think they should rule the world, and so they're bloodthirsty in their methods of doing so, and so any war against them gets particularly nasty at all times. The Camarilla, we have rules and structure that we believe protect kindred and the kind to some extent, depending on how much you believe that it's just a food source. And then the Anarchs, who hate everybody in general, and we all kind of operate in this weird balance. And I don't know who I want to win, but Camarilla are the best for the roses because the structure is so nice.
We dealt with the Sabbat. That was when Vitel fell, it was a problem. But we survived. I know about them. I've heard Anarch. Bjorn used to use that term quite a bit. Waylon used to enjoy going to visit him, having talks.
That's interesting.
Philosophical talks in a lot of ways about, Wayland always was worried about, well, I shouldn't say Wayland. Renee was always worried about long term.
Both the Sabbat and the Anarchs are very against the restrictions that being Camarilla has. And you will find them binding too.
I'm learning. Apparently just my creation is enough to get
people killed.
Yes.
Firebombed the damn black magic.
Unfortunately, I think that was a slight against me.
Slight against us too. I mean, we were the ones who...
You were just convenient.
And also, you would have been excused very easily since your creation was not approved. Although I will admit, many, many kindred have that backstory. We're all sort of tragic if you start talking to us. I am very weird in that my sire has very explicit permission to have embraced me.
I negotiated for both of you. I didn't want to...
That's why you bonded Wayland and tried to bond me?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I wanted to protect you from him.
And Natalie, that's the first you've heard of anything about tried to bond.
Yeah. I knew something was wrong with, not wrong, but something was happening with Wayland just because of how much he was paying attention to Lily over me while we were talking to him, not because
And I look at Natalie and say, this conversation does not leave this room.
Oh, I particularly am very anti anything that would hurt a rose. Nosferatu, on the other hand, I have no problem.
Yes, Raphael, I bonded Waylon and attempted to bond you to protect you from Stanford after I negotiated the sparing of both of you. Because I had a strange suspicion that he may try to bond one or both of you for what I did.
From what you've told me now, that wouldn't have worked, huh?
that would have just made you more convenient to kill.
Uh-huh. And with you, it wouldn't have worked for you. So that's why I didn't push it with you once we realized it doesn't work on you. You're safe from that.
And Natalie's like, I'm making a note of that part.
No, seriously, I have like a list.
So, while I made sure Waylon told me certain things from the court first, before he went to spread it around as herald, so that I was always in the know ahead of time, that was just a convenient use of the bond. The bond truly was to protect him. And that bastard fucking tried to kill you both.
I know you told me don't trust people, but I trust you. I'll follow you.
Thank you.
And we'll get vengeance.
Thank you.
And I think that's where we're going to end this one. Right there. Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
After the hiccup.
Oh, and you are still totally invited to see her dance.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yep.
We'll arrange that. I'll play out a phone call from Natalie inviting her to a dance.
I will make sure that this is part of the second half of a vignette, so that I can explain. This is the second time we shot this because I was having a bad day and I didn't record the entire first time we played the scenes out.
Again, perfect podcast.
Yeah, it was. We had the audio, but no video with it. And while we replayed it, the details slightly changed.
Slightly changed, but it
only
was still
slightly.
the same. It was still the same.
Still the same overall story.
The plots,
right? Because I wasn't going to change what the way the roles fell for the first run through. The way we did it sucks when that happens. I forgot to record, and it's on me.
It's okay. It happens.
But nothing changed about the end result and the way it played out. Because you can never say the same thing twice. But the overall ending was the same.
Yeah.
A revelation of Chaz.
Yeah.
Showing the full control whatever this being has.
Yeah, it's
over
not.
him. It's not like what you've seen with Locke or Steve.
Yeah.
This is much worse.
It is not what Lily thought it was.
And that's where we'll end it. I'd like to thank my special guest. And, of course, Lily.
Thank you.
And
thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you. And hopefully you come join us for the next vignette. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to watch the vignettes for McStabber Studios DC by Night. If you like what we're doing, give us a like, give us a follow. You can give us a subscribe if you really like what they're doing. If you want to join us, pop over to McStabber's Lounge, the Discord. It'll be in the chat. We've got it set up. The links are in the Twitch panels. If chat's not live or you don't see the chat, that's fine. Scroll down to the Twitch panels. Check us out. All our back content is on YouTube. So, give it a check. That's also in the panels. And thank you for coming. And I wish you a good night. Good night.